everybody, it's your girl Sherry. Welcome back to Alleged Actually podcast. On today, we are doing our final part of the Design Your Wealth Mindset series. We are honored to have with us today Miss Rosalind Marie. She's a co-author of the book. She has so much to add to the discussion. And you guys, I want to get into her bio, and then we have lots to talk about, so we're going to get right into it, okay? So, Rosalind Marie is a passionate wellness changemaker whose purpose is to make an impact in every environment she touches. She enjoys bringing the most creative people to the table with purpose. Some of her tables have included leaders in the arts and science, health, wellness, and financial services, influencers, investors, and creatives. Equipped with the background as a behavioral health scientist, biologist, birth coach, and public health advocate, Rosalind has been able to merge her areas of expertise by applying her love for helping families to design their ideal birth, whether new baby or new project. Rosalind enjoys innovatively motivating others towards a growth mindset. As a wellness and birth advocate, she engages others by helping them redesign their mindset towards improved nutritional, fitness, financial, and behavioral lifestyle change. Her philosophy is each one, teach one, reach one. She hopes to encourage and infuse her love, language of faith, and a sense of adventure into others while igniting joy and ease within each space she touches. She is available for speaking engagements, panel discussions, corporate events, groups, teams, conferences, and retreats, especially in beautiful spaces. Rosalind can be reached at rhillwell@gmail.com, and that is in our banner, guys. So check that out for bookings and consultations. You can also follow her on social media, and I have that listed also, and we'll talk more about that. I want you guys to help me welcome Miss Rosalind Marie. Thank
Yay.
you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
So, as you all know, we
Mhm.
have been doing the Design Your Wealth Mindset series simply because I think this is very important for all of us to get these tips in this time, right now in this area. And I've said this many times, whether you are just starting out on your financial journey as a novice, or even if you consider yourself fairly financial savvy, there is something in the book for everyone. So I encourage you all. I've been harping on this. If you have not got this book yet, I do not know what you're waiting on. So after you hear what Miss Rosalind Marie has to say, if you haven't gotten it, then you just don't want help. Okay.
Right.
Right. All right. So we're going
Yeah.
to get on into the interview. In
Mhm.
the book, Design Your Wealth Mindset, you do a deep dive on ACE, adverse childhood experiences, and how
Mhm.
they can connect to financial traumas later in life.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that and break down each component of that.
Yeah, for sure. And it can go a little bit deep, so I'm going to say surface so people can really kind of understand.
Okay.
ACEs, it actually, of course, it's an acronym. And it stands for Advanced Childhood Experiences. Okay. And, here's the thing that we all have memories of our past. So just to make it, to break it down in a simple term, they're really experiences from your past that may affect where you are today. And so adverse, right? Adverse childhood experiences,
Mhm.
meaning there's something that you went through that may have been negative or that may have, affected you in a negative way. And many of us have had those experiences. We don't even know that we suffered with ACEs because many of us, oftentimes in our communities, we're just taught to keep going, right?
Right.
Because they say we don't look like what we've been through, right?
Yes.
And it's a common term, but it's like when you think about it, I don't, I don't think I want to look like what I've been through, right?
Mhm.
And so, however, if you have been through some, whether it's trauma, whether it's some kind of negative experience, again, whether you grew up with lack, let's just say that, in your
Mhm.
household. You grew up, with a large family, and maybe there wasn't enough to go around, right? Maybe there was some struggle there. Although, you may not be there now, we all carry that with us. And so that's just kind of generally what, when you talk about adverse childhood experiences, that's kind of where we want to focus on. And of course, it can affect your finances from then, and it can affect your finances now if you don't identify where you are. Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I love that. What role does professional support, therapy, counseling play in managing the financial effects of trauma?
100%. I just think anybody that looks like me or you, Sherry, for that, for the most part, need to be in some kind of therapy, right?
Agree.
And it depends on what you're focused on. I have tended to get either coaches or therapists whenever I've had kind of change of life. If I'm shifting, I mean, it could be something as simple as a new job. It could be you opening up a small business. It could be marriage.
Mhm.
As you know, of course, it's labeled here, I'm a birth coach. And so I love, love, love just connecting with families at that start of life and helping them to engage so that they have the right tools to move forward through that family as a unit. Because as much as people think they can do it by themselves, it's very tough to do
Yeah.
it by yourself. But I really like to engage families early, as they are beginning to start families, so they can get in the right mindset together as a unit and make better financial decisions from the beginning of that baby's life. Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
yeah,
Very important.
yeah.
So, what can you tell our viewers about the RIRR approach and the subsequent actions for each?
Yep. And so this, of course, is in the book, as
It
Sherry
is.
mentioned. And so, there are phases you always want to have, some specific terms and a specific method in order to create solutions, for you to get from one phase to another, right? You think about someone who that may indulge in alcohol, right?
Right.
They go through their system, or AA, right? Alcoholics Anonymous, right?
Mhm.
Those people that may be addicted to whatever it is, whether it could be um food, right, food can
Mhm.
be addicted to food, and oftentimes, again, many of our food choices are connected to our culture, you know, and so it doesn't mean that someone's trying to attack your culture based on what you eat. But again, if you're eating, and when you're eating the wrong things, or you're not eating, or you're eating too many of the wrong things, your body will talk to you. Well,
Absolutely.
the same thing goes for your finances. You already know when you get that money coming in, again, you may be a 9 to 5, or, you might work in a corporate environment, or you may be an entrepreneur, and so you may not get paid on the same schedule. Usually people that work in a corporate environment, or, for someone, they may get paid every 2 weeks, they may get paid every month. As an entrepreneur, it don't always roll in like that. Hello.
Okay.
And so, I say that to say, when it comes to finances, you want to have a method to be able to focus on your finances, to be able to track your finances, to be able to know, maybe I won't get that bag this week because, Georgia Power is, is who I
Okay.
need to be paying. I need to be making sure I take care of my responsibilities. And so, when you're talking about the RIRR, it's a little tongue twister. The
Yeah.
first step is really recognizing, right? Where are you in your finances? And what that means is, how much do I have coming in? You
Mhm.
know, how much do I need to spend based on my living expenses, right? Your rent or your mortgage, if you have a car payment, for instance, some of your utility bills. So those really needs should come first, outside of wants. But you also want to, people say, pay yourself first. You also want to make sure that those financial needs are in there. What does that mean, to pay yourself first? Are you putting that money in a bank account? So you want to be very clear about where you are. So the R is recognize, right?
Mhm.
And then the I is identify. You want to get very clear on, again, what's coming in versus what's going out. You know, or have you gotten a raise recently? Have you gotten an increase, right? When that happens, and usually if you're working in a job, that will happen on a regular basis. What are you planning to do with that money? We going out shopping? We about to travel? We going to Fiji? But what are we doing with the money, right?
Mhm.
However, if you have a specific financial plan or financial strategy in place, you want to make sure that you have a clear cut goal on where you're going to put that money. So go ahead in advance and identify, what you want to do with that money, right? And so we also want to take a pause, because I think sometimes what happens is we think about money and it may bring up some of those aces that I talked about earlier, right? And it may freeze us in place where you might not want to move forward because there's something that happened in the past that you never dealt with, and it keeps you stuck in that place. And so with that, right, we said R is recognized, we
Mhm.
said I is identified, then R is rectified, which means that you might need to put some solutions in place to do something different. Do something different today than you would have yesterday, right? You may have more coming in now, so you want to do something different with whatever those funds are coming in. In other words, are you using a savings fund? And is that savings fund, are you getting a better rate of return on those savings? So in other words, are you putting in a high yield savings account? Are you putting it in mutual funds? Are you adding that additional money to your retirement fund? Do you have any of those accounts set up? And if you don't, I just want for you to understand it's okay to start where you are. Okay. And then that last R is rehab, right? Because again, it's a cycle. So just because again you put this structure in place doesn't mean you just put it in place and leave it. You want to make sure that you go back in and connect with a financial professional, who we are as the exit strategist, because I think sometimes people think they can really do this alone. I'm going to say on average some people can. Okay, we don't want to say no one can do this, but doesn't it make sense to have a coach or to have someone that you can be accountable for to make sure that your money is not funny?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes that takes, like a rehabilitation process and going back through the steps to one, make sure it's still working for you. Because what we do recommend is if you do have a financial professional that you're working with, I hope you have their cell phone number and I hope they're available to you. And I hope you're reviewing that process on a regular basis. Again, if you're a business owner, it might be more often, right? If you're someone who is working a 9 to 5, it might be at least once a year, but you want to have regular financial check-ins to make sure, are my financial goals lined up with where I am right now and where I want to be in the future? So
I love it. I love it. I love what you said, and I love the fact that I think again, we do a good job now at pushing on, make sure you take care of your mental health. Find a therapist, find someone to talk to. Same with your financial health.
yeah,
It goes hand in hand. I mean, how can you be mentally healthy when you're up to your eyeballs in debt? And
for sure,
so that's one of the things I love so much about the book. It is a refocus on the correlation of the two,
for sure.
and taking away the stigma of reaching out for help in that area. And so, and one thing I want to say, I'm gonna get to the next question, but I have now interviewed all of the authors, with Miss Rosalind being the last one I'm talking to. And I think what a lot of the viewers are seeing is how approachable,
Mhm.
how how welcoming, and how relatable each one of you ladies have been.
Yeah.
And so if you were scared of the idea of having a financial coach or a financial strategist to talk to, I am showing you these ladies, they're easy to talk to. They get it, and they
Mhm.
can get you where you need to be. So
For
I
sure.
love that. I love the fact that, you get your plan in, but it doesn't stop there. You have someone that you can reach out and bounce things off and make sure that your goals are on track,
Yeah.
and that should you need to shift in a different direction, you have someone that can help you do that. So you guys take this down. And I always encourage when these interviews are going on, and I know that some of my actualizer fans out there are taking notes. I want you to take notes. I want you to get the book. read the book, get the workbook, and work
That's
it for your financial goals. So, next question. Let's discuss the two different types of mindset in regards to money and finances. And I know that was fixed mindset and
yep.
growth mindset.
Yep, for sure, for sure. So fixed mindset and growth mindset, and just, these terms could be used in a variety of different areas, but today we're going to talk about it from a financial standpoint. And so you think about a fixed mindset. I'm going to look, I'll put myself out there. I'll talk about, my upbringing. And for the most part, you always want to kind of think about your money story. I'm going to go back to your money story and who taught you about money, your first
Mhm.
memories, who taught you about money as a child, right? Many
Mhm.
of us weren't taught, right? But some of us did have family members. It could be a dad, a mom, auntie, a grandmother. And you want to think about how they thought about money because a lot of it helps us to see us
Mhm.
around how we think about money and how we move forward with that. So someone with a fixed mindset may only be focused on having their money in one place.
Mhm.
And usually that's a bank, right? Now I'm
Right.
going to also say this. Grandmama, mama, auntie, the rest of them said, do not put all your eggs in one basket, right? And so I'm going to tell you, someone with a fixed mindset is only going to put their money in a bank account. The
Mhm.
reason why I say that is because one, your bank is earning money off of you. Why not you earn money off of you? And
Yes.
so when it comes to your money that's coming in, if you're sitting it in a bank account, you're getting like 0.0%. It's not much at all. And it
Mm-mm.
doesn't increase very much. And so someone with a fixed mindset is like, nope, this is it. This is the only place I know how to put it. Or I'm going to take it back to grandmama, where, when you came over, whether it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or what have you, y'all, look, I'm going to go there because y'all know I'm going to keep it real all the time. She would have her little money stuffed down up in here, and it's normally attached to her little bra down there.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Baby, come on over here." And she'd be trying to take you in the corner so she can give you her little, $5 or whatever she wanted to give you. But grandma was protecting what she had, and
That's
that's
right.
what she knew because guess what? There was a time when people like us could not put our money in a bank.
Mhm.
Okay? And
Mhm.
so I want us to be very careful about, keeping some of those traditions alive that no longer serve us, right? So
Right.
we ain't saying grandma, we ain't trying to be down on grandma, but we want to be encouraging to let you know that there's another way, right?
Right.
And if your grandmother is still with you, we can teach her a new way as well. So that is
That's
one
right.
way to say, fixed mindset there, right? Around money. Another fixed mindset could also be it also relates to ACEs, is paying your bills um, without paying them directly. So in other words, auto pay, right?
Okay. Mhm.
Because here's the thing: if you think about it, if people say, "Oh, I don't have enough money to put in auto pay," but almost all of your bills you can actually pay them on auto pay, and you save money by doing that. And
Mhm.
so, guess what? The money that you save by doing that, you can actually put that money in a savings account.
Mm.
I'll help you find the money. Okay. So my point is don't be so fixed in just focusing on, your finances in this way. Be open to other suggestions. Okay. And so when you think about growth mindset, you want to make sure, again, look up options, do your research, but even further than that, get our book.
Mhm.
Our book is titled Design Your Wealth Mindset, and it talks to everyday people. It takes the scariness out of finances and really puts it on your dinner table so that you really can have this discussion at your dinner table with your family and friends or with your friend girls, right? We
Mhm.
love traveling with our friend girls. Get the book. Well, we
Yep.
have these little book clubs. Get the book and use it as a way to bring your friend girls together, right? Or your
Right.
family. Thanksgiving is coming up. Bring it to Thanksgiving and let's have some real conversations with our family about our finances because we really want to shift towards a growth mindset in finances, right? So those
Right.
are just tips, and tools that I would share. You don't want to stay in that fixed mindset, you know, for so long, right? Because now it can protect you as well, right? Because it can
Right.
also, a fixed mindset could also be, I'm not, I'm doing a no spend month for November, right? November 1st, first, day of the month. You could say that, right? A fixed mindset could also be, I'm going to do a savings challenge, right? So you do need to have a certain amount of fixed mindset to be able to have the discipline around your finances. However, there are other alternatives that will give you more money at the end of, say, 6 months to a year if you're open to those strategies. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, y'all catch that. Now, I like what she said there. It's fixed mindset. There's a place for it, but just as she said, but everybody needs to be open to the growth mindset as well. How can my money make me money? I love that. And
Yeah.
it goes into more detail in the book, so you've got to get it. But that idea, I want you to really consider it. Guys, I mean,
Mhm.
we've got to start making some changes. We
Yeah.
particularly, this geared is geared toward women, it's geared
Mhm.
toward us, and we need to start taking it more serious. It's not like she said back in the day with our grandmas, with our granddaddies. It was a different day. A lot of us find ourselves, doing this on our own, and that's fine. But the days of relying on, oh well, me and my husband will do. Get it for yourself. Get it for yourself. And it doesn't matter where you are. You should start in your 20s, but if you didn't, myself, I'm transparent, I'm 51.
Mhm.
I've learned lessons later in life, and thank God I was able to turn some things around, and I'm certainly on my way. But if you'd have talked to me 10 years ago, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be where I'm at. And I'm
Mhm.
not ashamed of that, nor
Yeah.
should you be.
That's
Okay. So these tools are out here, these ladies in this book, and I'm gonna put the book on the screen when we get done through our interview part, and we're gonna talk through um, what Miss Rosalind also has to offer us after we do this interview. So,
right.
my next question is how cultivating a growth mindset impacts long term financial success?
Mhm, mhm, mhm. So there's multiple ways to be able to, focus on long-term success, as far as growth mindset is concerned. To be honest with you, you want to definitely take an inventory, right? Again, where am I today? And some people are, interested in maybe going back to school or furthering their career, or they have children, right? I have children that eventually will be going to college. I actually have one coming out, and I have one that will be prepared to go to college in the next couple years, right? But I'm also that sandwich generation. We can't leave this conversation without talking about the sandwich generation, which
Hmm.
means that I have elderly parents. I have seniors for parents that are already retired, but I'm also taking care of a minor child that's still in the home. And so the sandwich generation is me, because I'm also thinking about, okay, in the event that my parents need me to step in, you know, are we prepared to be able to ensure that they have what they need? Again, whether it's, whether we bring in someone to provide care for them, whether you actually have to put your family in a care home, right? But at the same time, still making sure that I have what I need to ensure that my child who wants to go to college is, in a place so that we're not having to rely on government funds or those kinds of things in order to send our children to college. And nothing is wrong with that, right?
Right.
However, let's have some options, you
Right.
know. And so you always want to be thinking about, where am I? That's one of the reasons why I said every year you want to make sure that you have a reassessment of your finances so that you can determine, okay, are we good, this year? Or again, if I got an increase or if I got a bonus, where do I want to put that is going to work for my finances the best way?
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Can you share examples of how mindset shifts have positively impacted your clients' financial outcomes?
For sure, for sure. I'm gonna go to my mamas, my baby mamas and my baby daddies.
I love it.
And here's the thing. I actually am a birth coach, and so what I do is I connect with families that are expecting, new one, so I get to have babies without having babies. Hello.
Okay, I like it.
I have to have babies without my body going through it, because even as a birth coach, you're guiding someone else while they're going through this process, right? You're helping the dad. It could be the extended family, the grandmother and aunties and all those. We're really helping educate them on how we birth now. And again, not taking anything away from their experience and what they're bringing to the table, but we're bringing that village together in order to make sure that that baby has the best support possible in that, right? And so very similar to how you're bringing that baby together. Again, I'm going to give you an example of something that I do, and I put this out on social media, and my family, you get, sometimes you get a few likes, but you got to be, you got to put it out there. You have to be bold enough to make a different choice and a different challenge when it
Mhm.
comes to your finances. My family, and I have a 12-year-old, that's my youngest, who's still at the house. I have told them that for any birthdays and gifts from here on out, we're no longer taking actual gifts. We're only taking monetary gifts. And
Okay.
that monetary gift is going to go to either in her future retirement fund or one of her insurance policies that I have for her, because I want to make sure that they understand, like, I'm serious about this, y'all, because those little, those little cute little things that they buy at the little dollar store, wherever the
Mhm.
stores we going to, by the time you turn around, the child done lost the piece,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like we have spent unnecessary money in a society that doesn't pay us back.
That's
Okay.
right.
And so, in order for us to ensure that we engage our community to make sure that dollar comes back to our community, you do have to challenge those people around you to think differently on, making sure that we invest back into our children, into our communities. And so, that to me is one way that I do that. I also got my families to be able to do some of the same things. But guess what? I get to help them earlier, because, as Sherry said, I didn't know this information when I had my babies. But guess what? I get to stand right beside families and guide them into life insurance policies. You can get a life insurance policy on a baby at 14 days old. And it's
Mhm.
probably the most inexpensive time that you could ever get a policy on that child. And when they become 18, you actually could gift it to them so they continue to be able to build funds and money for the rest of their lives. And you can actually access it tax free. Most people don't know that.
Nice.
So that is how I stand beside my families and helping to encourage them so that, they can be mentally grounded towards a growth mindset in their finances.
I love that.
Mhm.
Okay, so what habits do you recommend for maintaining a positive financial mindset over time?
Get around the right people.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I really cannot stress that enough. And while we're talking about, we're online and we're on YouTube, be mindful of the information that you watch
Yeah.
online, because we can all put information out there. But I myself, I'm actually a certified financial professional. Me and the exit strategy, we're all certified, right? We have to go through a series of certifications on a yearly basis in order to keep our license. We're licensed.
Mhm.
We can't just say anything. We could go to jail, and I'm not going to jail for anybody. And so my point is, make sure that the person has certifications, make sure that they're licensed. Like, if client asks me for my license, matter of fact, they can look me up, right? I'm in the state of Georgia. You can look me up and you will see that I am currently licensed. I'm actually licensed in several states. And so wherever I get to do business, I end up getting my license there, right? And so, you want to be careful about the information that you do take in. Sometimes we could do information overload. We get so much information and then we're frozen and we don't do anything.
Right.
Let us help you through that, because
Yeah.
it can be confusing. There's a lot of alternative information out there. And we're not saying it's all bad. We're just saying get somebody so that can hold you accountable and you can bounce those ideas off of. And we can say, hey, yes, I'm familiar with this, or I'm actually a scientist, as Sherry mentioned. I'm a biologist, so I'm always going to do my research and say, okay, I'm not as familiar with that, but let me connect with some of my colleagues and some of my other team members to find out what they know. And guess what? If I don't know, I'll pull them in and make sure that we know and that we can give you some solid information and make better decisions on that. So yeah.
Right. Y'all heard her right. Listen, don't sit there being all overwhelmed, and stuck because you know where you want to go, but you just not sure how to get there.
Right.
Reach out. Reach out. Get you a licensed professional to help you. Again, if it was again your mental health or your physical health, when there's something wrong with your body, you go to a doctor and you don't just go once, you keep your regular checkups. Same thing with our finances. We have
Yeah.
got to put
Yes.
so much more effort into our financial health, our
Yeah.
financial journey. So
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can individuals incorporate wellness goals into their financial planning?
Well, I believe you should put it in your budget. It's put it in your spending plan because, and I tend to do that. There's a certain way that I wake up in the morning, right? There's certain
Hmm.
things that I like to have in the atmosphere. I'm kind of creating a mood for my morning so that I can kind of get started on the right foot. I tell people sometimes I go live on Facebook sometimes, and I tell them, listen, I understand sometimes you might have got up on the wrong side of the bed, so go
Uh-huh.
lay back down and get back up on the right side of the bed. Like, you can do that if you want to. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so it's a mindset and it's a decision, right?
Hmm.
To incorporate, wellness into everything that you do. And I say,
Hmm.
put it in your budget again. There was something that a sister I heard the other day, and it was dynamic. And we talk about wellness maintenance. So
Uh-huh.
wellness maintenance is of course getting your massages and going to the spa and getting your nails done and get your pedicure, get your hair did,
Yeah.
and all the things, the superficial kind of outside things that are important. Drinking, look, water. I mean, making sure you
Hmm.
drink water, making sure you're eating whole foods, making sure that you're moving. You got to exercise, get up
Yes.
and move your body. Those are all maintenance activities, right? There is something that to me is underlying that, and it is chronic stress, which leads
Hmm.
to chronic disease, right?
Yes.
And so you have to be your own advocate. You have to be an advocate for your community. We have to release that chronic stress because it
Hmm.
leads to all kinds of other things. And we have to be diligent in what that looks like. And so, yeah, it costs money. Right? It costs money to look good and smell good and be good.
Absolutely.
It costs money to show up, at that, your local community meeting. Or, again, I'm a parent. I'm a part of a parent teachers association. There's a cost to that,
Yeah.
but you have to know what's important to you and put it in your regular spending plan, your regular spending budget. Some of us are fly by night, I get it. You might be a little more impromptu. You might just want to take a little road trip or what have you. It's okay to do that. But
Hmm.
again, don't spend your mortgage money and your car
Right.
money on being able to do that, because sometimes people do that as well. Maybe you need to do a staycation versus a vacation, right? So there's ways to do that, but make sure that it works for your household budget. So that's what
Right.
I would say
Okay. All right, y'all. Take that down, okay? That's important.
there.
Okay, Rosalind Marie, what tools or practices do you suggest for regular financial reflection and mindset maintenance?
Write them down. I
Okay.
can't say that, more than anything else. Make sure that you write it old school, pen and paper.
I love it.
Get you a notebook and write down those goals. Again, it can be financial goals, maybe spiritual goals, maybe relationship goals, right? Might be friendship goals, all of those things. And I have plenty of notebooks around, and some of them are specifically, like I have one that focuses on my spiritual, growth, right? As I'm reading the Bible, I'm writing, ideas down, in that. And over here, I actually have my financial, journal that I'm writing. And a lot of times, sometimes it's a sticky note
Yeah.
that I may have around. So find what works for you. Sometimes people use their phones. You can now write notes in your phone.
Mhm.
Make sure that it works for you and make sure that you're going to go back and read. And the reason why I say write it down, because mentally, right, your mind begins to build a case for the things that you write down. And I'm going to be spiritual here. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write your vision upon tablets so that the herald that hears it, right, will run with it. The herald is who you speak it to, right? You
Yes.
got to speak those visions out loud, but you
Yeah.
need to write it down, right?
Yeah.
Don't write it down. I mean, sometimes though, dang, I forgot. I meant to write
Uh-huh.
that thing down. So write it down. I think that's one of the best practices that you could ever do. And educate yourself. Educate yourself. Read books. Actually pick them up. I have highlights. I have books all over. You guys see behind me. I have books on my shelf behind me.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, some of those books are sitting on the shelf and they're collecting dust. You know, you need to go and pick it up and
Yep.
read it. They're speaking to you every time you go by. Read the information that you have. Connect. It's okay to attend classes. It's okay to listen to podcasts like Allegedly Actually, something that's going to teach you and help grow your spirit. Be careful about Netflixing and chilling too much.
I agree.
Yes, it's okay to have entertainment and to do the things, but I'm going to challenge you. Sherry, I'm putting a challenge out
Let's do
to
it.
those that are listening today. I'm going to challenge you to, again, put yourself on a schedule. It's okay to scroll. Put yourself on a time limit as far as how long you're using that phone and scrolling, because it can be addictive.
Yes.
Put yourself on a calendar for when you want a Netflix and chill. I'm not going to take it away from you, because I mean, people not going to do it. You
Right.
know, if you are somebody that has cable, I do not. Put yourself on a limit, because it could be like 200 channels. How many of them are you really watching? You
Child.
know, I have literally cut cable. I don't have cable anymore, but I do have the membership. I have Netflix, right? There's certain things that have membership. I have a child, so I have Disney Plus. So there are things that I have, and I can manage my budget. I don't have a $200 cable bill. For what?
Right.
And I don't even have time, because I'm out here, building my life up.
Okay.
And so, just like that sign behind me says, pray more, worry less. I'm not here to worry.
Yeah.
Why? For
Yeah.
what? So,
No, that's right. That's good. That's good. I'm actually going to accept that challenge. And I want all my actualizers out there to accept that challenge. Y'all, first of all, time is precious.
mhm,
And if what you want is to find yourself reaching your financial goals, reaching some financial freedom. I mean, nobody wants to be bogged down with debt, or even just the worry of what am I going to do next? How am I going to get there? I mean, it
mhm,
doesn't have to be that you're even leaving. You may not be living paycheck to paycheck. I'm
yeah,
not talking, like I said, all spectrums, novice to the financial savvy. But
mhm,
everywhere you're at, I know that we all have dreams and goals and things that we want to achieve. And then,
yeah,
the world tells us, you should have been there 10 years ago. What are you doing with your life? Okay.
mhm,
No, it starts today.
yeah,
Rosalind has given us some wonderful tools throughout this series. You can go back and watch each interview, and I know there's something that you can gain and glean from it, because I personally have.
yeah,
Like she said, start writing it down.
mhm,
Write it down. Make it actually in front of you, so that your fleeting thoughts become a reality. Speak
mhm.
it. I have picked up so many wonderful things from this interview. Honestly, Rosalind Marie, you are amazing, as are your entire group.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all. This has been honestly, this has been enlightening. It has been wonderful for the channel.
Yeah.
Um, so
Mhm.
Design Your Wealth Mindset is the book. I personally have my copy. I got mine on Amazon.
Yeah.
They have a website that you can also get the book from, and I will pin that in the comments. But if you haven't, and I suspect if you've been watching, you've got it by now. But let's just say I have some newcomers that haven't yet. Go
Mhm.
ahead and get the book. I have a playlist that have all the interviews in the playlist, so you can start one and just let it keep on rolling, honey, and get all that good information.
Uh-huh.
And so at this point, Miss Rosalind, I first want to say thank you again for being here and for sharing with us.
For
Your
sure.
contribution to the book was amazing, and your contribution as to all that you do is amazing.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell the viewers, first of all, what you have coming up, how can we
Mhm.
support it, and where can we find you on social media?
Of course. No, thank you. And I'm going to actually plug, we have a book and a workbook, and you can actually get both of them for $25, but you can definitely get them on Amazon because we want to walk you through the steps. You're not alone. Design Your Wealth Mindset really holds your hand and helps you walk through this process so you don't feel confused. And if you do, you can always reach out to us. And Sherry has done an excellent job in actually posting my contact information right here below. I'm on Instagram. You can reach me at A Noble Soul. You can reach me at Mindfully Obsessed. I actually have a YouTube channel called Mindfully Obsessed as well. My email address, rhillwell@gmail.com. And I actually do speaking engagements. I do teach those people that are really ready to shift their finances to another level. Again, whether it's a small group or small organization, I do travel. I do travel as well.
Okay.
Matter of fact, all of us do. And so we're expanding, although several of us are in Atlanta metropolitan area. We're also throughout the US, but we will come and engage with your organization, with your church, right? With your, with your sister group, with your retreat organization. I didn't even say I'm a yoga instructor, so I do that as well because I've done retreats. But what I do is I include the financial wellness path into what we do because we do have to include that in our overall approach to lifestyle. Because again,
Mhm.
as we're moving forward and as we advance, we really want to have a wealth mindset. And I want to make this point: it's not always money, because I think sometimes we can get caught up in that fact that, oh my gosh, well, I'm only make a certain amount of money. It's okay, right? Because
Right.
wealth is also about the relationships that you have, right?
Yeah.
Wealth is also about the experiences that you have, the memories that you create. But you know what? Having a little bit of change in your pocket never hurt anyone.
Sure don't. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, mhm.
Well, again, I want to say thank you so much for being with us today. Your contribution, like I said, has been amazing. You have really given us a lot of things to think about, some great tools to implement. So, thank you so much.
For
And
sure.
again, all of you out there, please get this book. And like I said, don't stop there. Reach out and go ahead and get you a financial expert to help you along your journey, the exit strategy group. All of these ladies are amazing. You've gotten a chance now to meet them all and hear them all. Look, at least, one of them, two of them, all of them. I don't know. Reach out, but get the help because it's available. So, guys, I'm going to leave you with thank you so much.
Mhm.
I want you all to have a great day, and I want you to make this day intentional. Take this and implement it. It starts today. All right, guys? So I love you over here. Go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Have a blessed day.